So we do finally have a patch. It's been kind of a weird couple weeks for the meta in Bazaar just because they removed a lot of things in the last patch, and it kind of left a hold for a couple of classes, notably Pygmalien and Dooley. Dooley's core has not really been very usable, and then Pygmalion lost a lot of his burst, so a lot of the remaining builds were kind of cheesy or very like one dimensional, one focus, right? You have some B builds and stuff like that, and you have Dooley with combat core really being like some of the main alternatives. So you just have like classes with not a lot of flexibility in their build options. So hopefully we'll see some changes there. And the Vanessa also just has big port abusing, just due to the nature of particular items like freeze potion and stuff. It makes at least late game Vanessas feel very hard to deal with since you just get perma frozen on a lot of late games. So yeah. So their patch goals are smooth early game variants, increase meta diversity, reduce the number of hidden rules, slow down the pace, reduce the prevalence of instant infinite loops, adding active effects to some items that are currently present only, and many of these interactions are ongoing. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff, but it doesn't really tell us exactly what's going on. So let's see what they actually did. So we do have a new encounter that will provide monster loot items. So that's interesting. Obviously, it's hard to know exactly what that means, right? But maybe it'll just provide items that monsters usually have, or maybe it'll provide skills. We'll have to actually see what it means. But yeah, interesting one. Start of run is now a selection of 4 items, except Dooley, which says 3 items, so that's interesting. Start of run no longer provides a skill is very interesting. That is music off during reviews. Absolutely, that's a good point. It's often for me. That's why I don't hear it. But yeah, that's very fair. No longer provides a skill is massive change to the game. That's a massive change to the game. Wow, that's so massive that I can't tell you exactly how the game's gonna feel with this one change already. If you don't get a skill, it's just it just means you're not going to be able to force or get those like insta win starts, because a lot of times in the early game you get your item, get your skill, you know you're winning. Like you don't need to do any of the other events because the item and the skill are so oppressively strong together that it doesn't matter what else you do for the remainder. So not having a skill, and the skill is the most abusive part, not the item. A lot of times is the skill. So definitely gonna be a different game. This is already a different game. It's hard to evaluate the game previously with this one change. So yeah, encounter frames been given a facelift. I assume it means that you'll have less like PowerPoint slides. Hopefully they dealt with the memory leak. That's my hope, right? But maybe they haven't, and they've done some other things. Many items-based outputs have been changed slightly to be more consistent scaling. That's very vague, so it's hard to tell you what that actually means, but hopefully it's better. Enchantments with passive effects now have tooltips describing their effects. That's good. It's always good to have that. Rerolls removed from many specialized merchants. That's interesting. So that it's like an unelegant solution to a common problem that they're having. So one of the issues they're having is that you can force things. They said, "Oh, they don't want to you be able to force things," but honestly, you can force things super hard, especially with there's not enough items for particular merchants, right? Like what pull is a big proponent of or big issue where like there's not that many large items for particular heroes, especially early, where there aren't a lot of the large items are gold, silver, gold, maybe even diamond. So when you go to pull, you have that reroll, and you're able to see pretty much all of the large selections in the game, and then you're able to get an early combat core, or you're able to get an early port, and it's just very easy. So removing the rerolls from these merchants make it Much harder. I don't know if Pole's getting hit, to be fair, right? But it will make it much harder to be able to like force exactly what you're looking for. So yeah, definitely interesting. Level up for 5 is no longer an upgrade, but a tier restricted general upgrades. But tier restricted general upgrades have been added to all level ups. Hmm. Level up is no longer an upgrade, but tier restricted general upgrade. Tier restricted. Hmm. I assume what that means is that upgrade a bronze item or something like that, right? And I think that's actually a good way of doing this, because right now there's no the the lack of level ups does hurt you, and but the level up that we have is very specific. Like, hey, you gotta hit the best item. You can't upgrade anything else. Adding general upgrades might be able to allow you to get more specific, more upgrades throughout the game and not feel horrible about it. Especially like there are things like properties where there's no real way to upgrade a property unless you find a copy. So you're just like, if you get like an early gym or something, that thing will be silver for the rest of the game because you can't upgrade it really. Things are like lemonade stand, stuff like that. So maybe this will help with that. Dramatically increase the floor tick rate of Sandstorm to accelerate the end of combat. That's hopeful. So instead of ticking once per like half second, it might tick more. And it says dramatically, so probably gonna be significantly more damage. I don't know if it's gonna be able to deal with like 100k shields, but it should be better, and we'll see how it feels. Reduce XP gains from a variety of encounter options. That's funny. So probably just gonna be less XP overall. It's so funny, right? Because they gave too much EXP for free because they didn't respect it, and now they're like, oh, XP is broken, so they're slowly removing it. Um, Tiny Colors has multicast too. Arrow Vehicle Merchant no longer spawns for Vanessa. Yeah, no one was going here. Haste Trainer no longer spawns for Pygmalien. Yeah, once again, well, no, the vehicle merchants Vanessa was going to just to force the So this is more of a balance thing, because people were just forcing flagship, I assume, and now you're not be able to like just insta force. Same thing here. You just get the properties haste. Pretty much was like there was only 3 haste charges skills to get, so it was just like very easy to force. Pole no longer spawns day 3 or 4. Hilarious. This is hilarious. They're really what's the word? Hammering their changes. Pull was too strong, so they're like nerfing it. But it's not an elegant solution, because if you're playing the game, how are you supposed to know this is in the rules? You're not gonna know this is in the rules. Um, or tool merchant no longer spawns 2 or 3, slightly rarer, right? It's so interesting. Reduce the rate that you'll get icy items here. Um, it's tough because they said here, where did they say it? Reduce the number of hidden rules in the way the game provides content, but that's not true, because all of this is hidden rules. All of this is hidden rules. No, unless you're reading these patch notes and you've been playing the game for a while, you're not gonna know any of this little tech. So, kind of unfortunate, but like understandable, because they're trying to deal with some of the problematic things that are happening in the game, and pulls a big issue and stuff like that. So they're just like removing it. Um, Pyro Monster now is the fiery skill. That's good. Warrior loadout slightly adjusted. Hard to tell, but this was very strong monster, so they're making it weaker, or I assume, or whatever. The enchantments. So Busy Bee now has enchantments. Piggles, Kurtrus, a lot of these stuff have enchantment options. That's fine. Not a big deal. It looks. Sparring Partner no longer spawns with Monstrous Counter, but is now considered a regular encounter, though it is still combat. So I assume Sparring Partner you won't get as a monster encounter anymore, which I think is fine. But you might see him as a regular encounter. That seems kind of strong. we'll see what this actually means, but if you can randomly hit sparring partners, that's like extra 30 gold sometimes. So that seems kind of strong to just hit randomly. Teddy's crit scaling now triggers when your shield takes damage, sure. Not super fair. Meditation now gives 1 XP, so 2. That's very low. We'll see if that people still want it. 1 EXP seems very low. Coolant skill now triggers 5 instead of 10, that's fair. Stout Fire skill is now when you burn. Gain regen and increase the damage of your weapons by 3. Arms dealer skill is now when you sell a weapon. Gain max health, no longer triggers on buy. Augmented weapons is now your skill of 1 damage when you sell small items. Gains this bonus by 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty good actually. The shield is a little bit weaker, but it's okay. Knife set now deals damage and charges on weapon use, but no longer deals damage on use. Okay, so they buffed it, but made it not crazy scaling. Battle of Blood now starts at silver tier. Okay. Defensive stance is now when you use a weapon, give your shields 3, 6, 9 shield for the fight. Yeah, this thing was crazy, honestly. Lifting. Okay, they're changing lifting. Lifting was also crazy, so I can see that. Lord Arcan has commission upgrades to the Eclipse, and now it deals 100 damage on item use and has the first time you fall below half health. Use this. Maybe he'll be not the easiest boss in the late game, but maybe. Magic Carp is not a vehicle, sure. Electrified Hull is the first 5 times you shield charge an item. 1 second. That's not bad. The first 5 times you use a tool, slow. They're really nerfing a lot of things. Feather is now when you sell this. They nerf Feather. Yeah, Feather is broken though, so I understand that. Sharp Corners is now when you shield give 3, 6, 9. Yeah, they really understood that like some of these things were crazy scaling. Well, the Room Brawl no longer has hammer and wrench due to bugs. Okay, bugs. Due to bugs. It's because hammer was so stupid. He still has energy potion, which is pretty good, but no longer having hammer, it's gonna really reduce the feel of going here. Life preserver and tends disabled due to bugs. The bar remains disabled. Schematics, hammer, wrench, bootstraps disabled. Other items previously disabled have returned. How big is this patch? Oh, this patch is huge. Oh my god, this patch is huge. Okay. Vanessa redesign. Not all changes are listed. All items only have scaling slightly modified or not listed. So Ballista no longer triggers his own multicast scaling. Sure. Cutlass now correctly has multicast 2. Okay. Chimera is no longer a tool is interesting. Repeater passive change to when you use another ammo, charge this 3 seconds. So they've cut Repeater in half. So Repeater has a 6-second cooldown. It used to be when you use it, it would just trigger off of throwing knives, but now not. Throwing knives also has been changed to when you crit charges 1 second. Cooldown is reduced from 3 to 2. It's still pretty good. So it's they're kind of reducing the infinite loops of Repeater knives. Now it's gonna require a little bit more effort. And still gonna, but yeah, it's still okay. 2-second throwing knives is really powerful. If you can get some ammo reload, 2-second throwing knives is really powerful. Because that means you start the combo earlier too. Captain's Wheel's passive is changed to when you use a vehicle, a large arm, charges 2 seconds. I don't remember what Captain's Wheel does. Is it just the one? I assume it's the one that hastes. Right, yeah. So yeah, okay. So instead of immediately getting triggered, it now just charges 2 seconds, so. Cutting the insta use in half. Pufferfish, okay, now poisons 369 on a 6-second cooldown. And the passive is changed to when you haste, charges is 3 seconds. That's still really strong, honestly. I don't know. That's still really strong. When you haste, charges 3 seconds. It's still really strong. Because you haste a lot. If you're running a full haste build, you're hasting a lot. So Pufferfish still seems really powerful. Alacrity now charges 1-2 instead of 2-3. Jellyfish now gains haste when adjacent aquatic item is used. Okay. So that's a big nerf to Jellyfish. Inexorable is now your items have 2% crit chance. When you start, increases bonus by 2%. Honestly, that seems better. It means you can switch items now, right? That actually seems better to me than the previous version. This looks like a buff. Port now reloads 1 ammo at all tiers and spawns mostly Vanessa items at 1 tier lower than itself. That's a big nerf to port. Yeesh. That is a big port nerf here. I mean, I'm honestly happy for it because port was too problematic of an item. But this one feels like you're really not gonna be that happy to play port anymore. Reload 1 ammo is like so painful. But I guess you start with I mean, I guess port still gives you like 3 ammo base, right? Which is still pretty good. So I guess you might still play. It's just not gonna be like super broken. 1 tier lower means you're also losing a ton of econ, right? So port used to give you a ton of econ as well, but now you're not really getting as much econ as you used to. So big port nerf, probably deserved. Trebuchet now deals 25 to 200 damage, burns as well. When you use a weapon or a haste, charges 1 second. Ooh, that's a big Trebuchet nerf too. So it doesn't haste randomly anymore. It just charges itself 1 second. Kind of painful. Pearl now shields on a 5-second cooldown. This passive is changed when you use another aquatic item. Charge this 1 second. This seems kind of weak. Fishing rod now hates the aquatic item to the right. That's fine. Honestly, still doesn't look like he'll see play. Lighthouse now burns 12 on a 6-second cooldown. Passive is changed when you slow charge this 3 seconds. I don't know. Lighthouse is pretty playable. They're nerfing so much. Water wheel now haste your other items on a 6-second cooldown. Wow, they really like this 6-second cooldown thing. They really like this. They're trying it and seeing how it feels. I don't know if that's gonna carry or that's gonna survive because 6 seconds is a lot in this game. Heated shells now starts with silver tier. When you use an ammo item, burn 2, 3, 4. Still seems really good if you're using burn with ammo. Astro Lob is now shield 20, 40, 80. When you use another non-weapon item, haste it for 1, 2, 3 seconds. So kind of the same, but now it doesn't haste itself. So you lose half of the haste scaling that you would with pufferfish. Oh, okay. Your leftmost item now has 2 damage when you buy a weapon. Increase this by 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're trying to. Okay, so with all of these changes, a lot of the times when you were doing these items, you couldn't really switch items because once you sold your item, you lost all of the scaling. They're trying to allow you to be able to switch items on the fly. The first 5 times you use a weapon each fight, charge an item 1, 2 seconds. Sure. First 5 times use an ammo each fight, slow a random item 1, 2 seconds. And this is a big Vanessa changes, honestly. A lot of the broken Vanessa stuff is getting adjusted. Obviously, some did not. Like some got saved, but the obvious broken stuff all took some hits. So we'll see what people do now. But yeah, Vanessa getting hit. Vanessa was didn't get touched or like didn't get adjusted really at all last patch. So now they're like, okay, Vanessa needs some nerfs. A Pygmalien redesign. Beast of Burden now deals 20, 40, 80 damage, but scaling is down. 10, 20, 30, 40. So Big scaling nerf. That hurts Beast of Burden a lot. Regal Blade is... Okay, Regal Blade's back. Okay, I don't understand why Beast of Burden is getting this, like, nerfed. Regal Blade is still gonna be the way to go. It's gonna be much easier to do. Yeah, Beast of Burden doesn't need this huge nerf. I don't know. It's 10 seconds, where Regal Blade is 6 seconds. Like, it's so much faster. I feel like Beast of Burden doesn't need this. Open of business now counts properties and stats. It should have. This made no sense to me. So this one was like you gain income for each property, but it's only properties you're using, and like, why? This makes way more sense. Cash register now spawns 2 spare chains per day, down from 3. Still broken. It's still income too, but it's a little bit less broken. Yo-Yo now charges itself 2 seconds when an adjacent item is used instead of force use. Now deals slightly higher damage than Diamond tier, and its cooldown is reduced from 8 to 6. So now it just charges itself 2 seconds. Big Yo-Yo nerf. Lupe Billboard now give bonus item values at the start of each day instead of passive. Wow, that's such a huge nerf. That's such a huge nerf to both of these. Wow. I mean, they were broken, to be fair. But yeah. My boy Pygmalien is not escaping the nerfs. Vineyards now heals on a 6-second cooldown, charges itself 2, 3, 4 on item use. Oh, yeah, each day is useless. Let me tell you, they've killed these two. They're not very usable anymore. I don't understand the design here. 6-second cooldown on everything. Anything they had a problem with, they just put on a 6-second cooldown. I don't agree with it, but let's see how the game feels in essence. Vineyard now heals on 6 seconds. So does Landscaper. Now charges on 2 to 4 on item use. So I don't know. Basically, it's now half as effective, essentially, right? So Vineyard would go trigger, and then it would just work with your bee or anything. Same thing with Landscaper. Now you're gonna need 2 triggers to make it work. So Beehive now charges all busy bees on weapon use. Okay, they're back to weapon use. They're back to weapon use now. They're like, every item use is too broken, which it was. But yeah, they're back to weapon use. So I don't think busy bees are going to be too much of an issue now. With weapon use, it's going to feel a little bit easier, I think. So yeah, and it's only 2 seconds, right? They have an 8-second cooldown. So you have to use 4 weapons to get the BZBs to trigger. Seems kind of like, So definitely a big nerf to Beehive. A lot of people rejoicing. Bushel passive is changed to when you shield, charges 2 seconds. No longer gives shielding on heal. Ew. No longer gives shielding on heal. Wow, they've killed Bushel. Well, they haven't killed it, but like the way people were using Bushel before is not gonna happen anymore. Marble now slows 1 item on a 3-second cooldown, and passive is changed to when you use an adjacent small item, charges 1 second, and no longer slows an adjacent item use. So Marvel's a lot worse as well. Shipment mostly spawns Pygmalien items are tier lower than itself. So Shipment was one of the ways you could get these like random items, because you get 3 of them. So they're nerfing that. Mercury now deals 5 to 40. When you heal, you give this a little bit scaling damage for the fight. So, big nerf to the scaling here. It looks like the golf clubs didn't get touched though. Okay. Crook now buffs medium items only. Oh, ew. Dealing and buffing 10, 20, 40. Well, that sucks. I mean, yeah. Only buffs medium items. Makes it very specific. Alright. Endurance. When you use a weapon, give your healing items Yeah, it was, but Yo-Yo was very important. That's the thing, right? Yo-Yo was very important in that build, so we'll see how. I mean, you had to run medium items, right? That's the only way to skill it. But the Yo-Yo was the real carry, so now you can't really do that. When you use a weapon, give your healing items 10, 20, 30 healing for the fight. It's still kind of strong. This is still kind of strong. Trader skill is the start of each day. Give your items 1, 2 value. I don't understand. I mean, that's so weak. I mean, I guess it's like, it's not that weak. It's, you could say it's like income 5 or something, right? Because trader was like income 30, you know, like now it's like income 5. It's a little bit weaker. A lot weaker. Your items now have 1 shield for every 4, 3, 2 gold you have. Sure. Maybe after each fight. Maybe. Battlegrounds is getting weapons. This is bizarre. But yeah, big. I don't know. These aren't the biggest nerfs to Pygmalien. At least to me, I play Pygmalien, and not really super using a lot of this stuff. So I actually think this is probably a good buff for me. I might try some pigs now, see if without the freeze ports, without the random insta kill Vanessa's, maybe Pygmalien can rise again. So I'm actually okay with this. Dooley redesign. I have to see combat core getting nerfed, or I'm gonna be mad. Bunker now only triggers off item damage, no longer triggers off sandstorm, poison, or burn. This is very good, because Bunker was kind of crazy with that. Machine learning now costs 6 gold on all tiers. I don't remember what this does. Capacitor starts at silver tier with 7/6 5-second cooldown, down from 10/9. This is probably might make capacitor playable. Armadillo now deals damage 20, 40, 80 on 120 on use, and passive is changed to when you shield charges 2 seconds. Cooldown reduced from 8 to 6. Okay. It still seems playable. Arc Blaster now deals damage. Passive change to when you use the core charges 4 seconds. I don't even remember this one. Bomb Squad passive change to when you use an adjacent friend charges 2 seconds and no longer haste items. Okay, I'm fair with that. Flamethrower now deals 1-2x its damage as burn instead of 2-3x. Yeah, Flamethrower is kind of strong. Ice 9000 now poisons and freezes on use. It also busts its own poison when you freeze, but no longer poisons on freeze. That might be better. Honestly, it was kind of hard to have a freeze comp, so this might actually just be better. Say what on ice. It now poisons and freezes on use, and also buffs its own poison when you freeze. Burning shield is now the first time you fall below half health, you shield equal to double the burn of your items. Okay. Fear Rod now burns both players 5, 10, 15, 20 up from 2, 4, 6, 8, and haste adjacent items with an 8-second cooldown. It also reduces the cooldown of adjacent vehicles by 5, 10, 20, 15, 20. It burns both players 20 is kind of a lot. Okay. First aided now starts at bronze tier. Hey, first aided's at bronze tier. The people are rejoicing. It no longer heals on haste. Oh, people are crying. Okay. It heals on a 3-second cooldown though, up from 4. It's quite strong. It's still probably good, but not as good as it used to be. Race car starts at bronze. When you haste charge at 2 seconds. Yeah. Inducting eggless now starts at bronze and burns and shields. And no longer slows adjacent items. Okay. Yeah, this made this really not fun to play. Tesla core starts at bronze tier. Passive is changed to when you use an adjacent item charges 2 seconds. This could be good, actually. Weak point detector self-charge is now 2 at all tiers. From 1 to 4. Core's cooldown reduced from 7 to 6 with minor adjustments to base output scaling. So cores, so this is all the cores. Wow, they're throwing this big change, like they're throwing this massive change in as a little aside. Like you might not even like read it properly. All the cores are going from 7 to 6 with minor adjustments to base output. So all the cores are a little bit faster now. So probably yeah, by the way, all cores buffed. Yeah, I know. It's not even just a footnote. I know. Friends core probably getting the best usage, but we'll see what the minor adjustments mean. Blast door is now shield. Oh, it's not double your shield or shield your shield. It's now shield to 30 to 240. When you take damage from an item, charges 2 seconds. And the first time you fall below 50% of your max health, use this. It actually seems decent, actually. It actually seems kind of decent. Maybe this is playable. Pyrocarbon now shields 70 to 150 when you burn haste your items. When you gain burn haste your items is interesting. Kev Snail now has an active of Poison 369 on a 6-second cooldown. Say it with me, chat. 6-second cooldown. Charges itself on slow. All the rays now count additional copies of themselves. That's kind of hard to do, but okay. Illusion Ray, Shark Ray now count as rays. Oh my god, they did it. They did it, guys. That's hilarious. It's not gonna be relevant most of the time, but it means now Illusion Ray can be very powerful. If you can make a friend Illusion Ray build, that actually sounds actually powerful. So if you can get an Illusion Ray somehow, maybe off the monster encounters, I bet that's going to be something you could do with Dooley, right? You go to the monster encounter event, buy some Illusion Rays or something, and then like go Ray build. Ray gun now charges off rays itself. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Ray gun now charges off rays. That's cool. Alpha Ray starts bronze tier. Beta Ray now charges itself instead of giving haste on Ray core reuse. I'm happy with that. Omega Ray starts at bronze. Gamma Ray starts at bronze. Buffs all poison items. That's very strong. That's very strong for Gamma Ray. Solidify now has a 6-second cooldown, down from 8, and gives regeneration in addition to haste on use. Gives regen on use. Wow. It now charges when you burn instead of having your cooldowns reduced when you burn. It's kind of the same thing. Soon rays will be nerfed to 6 seconds. I so agree. Fix a bug where certain enchantments on unknown items do not accurately display their effects on their tooltips. Maybe. Fix a bug where some people would not die. Sometimes people would not die. What happens is that you would heal at the same tick you took damage. That's what would happen. So this was very common with B, because B would trigger on almost every tick. With Vineyard, Vineyard, you could like stay alive. Fix the bug where certain interactions bypass the internal cooldowns. So probably like throwing knives and stuff like that. Fix the bug where several enchanted effects not persisting in the stash. That always felt horrible. Fix the bug where Kina had a very small chances of applying weapons and enchanted items. Oh, interesting. Fix the bug where Aerodome, where it could be rerolled even though you didn't have enough gold. Huh. Interesting. Fix the bug with Cog, where it would haste more than one item per use. Yeah. Pistol Sword Deadly, where it provided 50% crit on the ammo use instead of 5. Yeah, that sounds broken. Crow's Nest Deadly was not increasing crit damage. Yeah, that was very annoying. But it was only targeting ammo items. Necrophiliac. Water Wheel was not providing haste on non-aquatic items. That seems, yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, Water Wheel gained a weapon tag. People were very annoyed about that. Harpoon gained a tool tag. Figurehead Shiny was not working correctly. Yes, okay. This was annoying me. Okay, well, this was annoying more people. But and we lost run due to this. But Chrono Barrier was 0.5 and 1 instead of 1 and 2. And I was just like, it annoys. Friends with benefits. Giving crit to items that can't crit. Not really mattering, I guess. Dragon Whelp healing was not working because it was supposed to heal equal to your damage, I believe. Old Sword on Cell would not work from the stash, yeah. Knee Brace Shiny was not giving double max health gains. Power Drill counted as a burn. Machine was not learning, was not spawning. Toxic Injector and Quick Ignition were only affecting specific items. Pendulum incorrectly had a cooldown and active. Pulse Rifle incorrectly had a different cooldown at Silver Tier. So at Bronze Tier it had 4. And at Silver Tier it had 3. Silver to Gold, or Silver to Diamond had 3. Maybe it was just supposed to have 4. Because there was really no other item that gets a higher cooldown or gets a lower cooldown on Silver Tier, and then at Gold Diamond it doesn't change. Either you're losing cooldown the whole way through, or you're just not losing cooldown at all. Or it was like, or maybe only at Diamond or something. It was like the only weird one, so probably just a bug. Chimera slowing for 2 seconds at Diamond, sure. Alacrity triggering 6 times instead of 5. Oh my god. Piggles did not spawn Piggles for non-Pygmalien heroes. Oh, that must suck. Yellow Piggle L giving plus shield to all items on the left, not just the items to the left of it, but all items. Dooley Scarf sharing his tooltip twice. Intended Vanessa amulet count as a weapon. Yes, the upgraded hammer, wrench, and bootstraps not enchanting the item they upgraded. It was so annoying. This was such an annoying one, especially for bootstraps, because like wrench and stuff you've already won. Wrench is like whatever, but bootstraps not enchanting felt really horrible. Car conductor monster not spawning in normal combat hour. Yeah, I've seen this once, and that's only because you get the fight encounter event and then it showed up. Fiery rocket launcher, fiery counting as a friend. Flameberg being priced as a legendary item. So yeah, that's interesting. Companion core hasting itself. Oh, it's not supposed to? Oh, okay, that's a big nerf to companion core, by the way. It can't haste itself anymore, so definitely matters. This is a different game, guys. We're playing a different game now. Fixed a bug with heat shield skill where it was incorrectly applying burn. Okay. It was charging itself. Yeah. It was charging itself, not hasting itself. That's true. It was definitely charging itself, yeah. Peliquin would gain the weapon charge, weapon tank when enchanted, and ice cubes would freeze a random enemy item of any size if adjacent food was used. Okay. So yeah, big changes. I will say, like, for me, Pygmalien doesn't seem too bad. But I'm a Pygmalien main, so I'm happy. I'm wanting to see if I can play Pygmalien again and not feel like I'm throwing the games. Happy to see all the Vanessa nerfs. We'll see if she's still broken, but happy to see it. And a lot of changes. No longer providing a skill is so massive. At the end of the day, that's still the biggest change at the overall. So yeah, we'll really see how that feels. But yeah, definitely a lot of changes. You're really gonna have to play the game to really get a feel of how the game has changed. So definitely a lot of changes here. But yeah, overall looks good. I'm somewhat, no combat core changes is a little bit like questionable to me. That core is so busted, but yeah, I mean it's so busted. Combat core, I don't like, combat core should have a 6-second cooldown. I am not even kidding. But yeah. Anyways, that's what we have here. I don't think I'm going to be playing anyways. I definitely want, now that I've read the patch, I definitely want to wait until the patch is live to really play more, and I'm tired anyways, so